Bishop Barbarito, thanks for welcoming us to the Chancery today.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm glad to be with you.
Cross Catholic Outreach was founded more than 20 years ago right here in the Diocese of Palm Beach. Since that time, our donors have provided more than $4 billion in aid to the poor. Can you reflect on how the support of the Diocese of Palm Beach for our ministry has made a positive impact in the lives of those in need?
Sure. Those in need who have benefited from the benefits of Cross Catholic Outreach through the Diocese of Palm Beach know the presence of the Church in a concrete manner. Not only because of the resources which have been provided, for which we're very, very grateful, but especially because of the presence of Cross Catholic Outreach on a personal level. Being with the people, no matter what the situation may be, and being with the churches in those particular areas has made a tremendous difference. And the people of our diocese who have contributed know the personal outreach that Cross Catholic Outreach has in this regard, and knows how that means so much to people, that someone is actually there with them in those situations.
Well, we've been blessed with the support of many parishes and schools here in the diocese in our food packing events. In addition to the direct impact that food has to people who are hungry in the developing world, what effect do you think it's had on the people that actually here in the diocese come and pack the food?
Oh, it's had a wonderful impact because when the people do that, we did it here at the cathedral in the fall this year, when the people are involved in that, they know what they are doing and how they're helping those who don't have what we have in terms of supplies, and especially in terms of food and things that are necessary for life. And so it makes a difference insofar as you can see the joy on their faces, you can see the enthusiasm of them as they're helping and putting things together, and they know that they're making a real difference in what's really most important for us as believers in Jesus Christ, and that is our outreach to others.
In addition to Cross Catholic being a ministry here in the Diocese of Palm Beach, the Vatican directly granted us juridical personhood. How unique is this Vatican status for a Catholic charity?
Oh, that's a unique status, and one that we were very pleased with, because it shows the unity of Cross Catholic Outreach with the Church, not only in terms of it being an officially recognized by the Vatican as a juridic person, but especially in terms of who we are as the Church, which is a universal Church. So this is something that goes beyond the borders of a diocese or goes beyond the borders of a country. It goes to the world itself, and the recognition of the Vatican in that regard is a very, very important one, very significant one.
You know, when a lot of people think of poverty, they think of a lack of material needs, but it really is much more than that. It encompasses social and spiritual factors, and the Church understands this as integral human development and believes that is the best way to help people. Can you elaborate on that?
Surely. That is so true, that the physical poverty of people, while it is so significant and is an important outreach on the part of all of us, there is so much other poverty that is present in the world today, in society today, in our country today. And that's the poverty of a lack of vision, a lack of feeling connected, a lack of values, a confusion that's present, and especially a lack of spiritual values, which we see all around us today. And the Cross Catholic Outreach, in terms of its Catholicity and in terms of its doing what it does as a Catholic entity, makes a real difference, because while we have to be involved in serving others and feeding others and giving to them, we're doing it because of who we are, which is the Catholic Church, and Cross Catholic Outreach does it as Catholic, and that makes such a difference. And that value is so important, because we are impoverished today in the world because of lack of values, of vision, and of knowing what the meaning of life is all about.
St. John Chrysostom once said, "Not to enable the poor to share in our goods is to steal from them and deprive them of life. The goods we possess are not ours, but theirs." How do we get all Catholics to passionately embrace this idea?
Well, all of us need to be reminded that what we have is a gift from God, and that God has blessed all of us with goods that He's given to us out of His love, and that those who don't have those goods really have a right to them. When we reach out to others, sometimes we get the false impression that doing charity is doing something extra. that when I reach out to someone and do a charitable act or give a charitable gift, I'm going beyond what I have to do. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. Charity is something which is part of who we are. When God has given us gifts, when God has given us blessings, and others don't have them, it's our obligation to share those with them to the extent that we can. And that's very, very important, very critical to who we are.
There's a lot of misery in the world, and yet we see so much great wealth in the industrial world. People have multiple homes, they have boats, they have yachts. As a bishop with teaching authority, what would you say to people who have this great wealth and haven't yet opened their hearts to the poor?
Okay. Well, Shannon, in terms of what I was just saying, those who have wealth, they have it, and God wants them to have it. God's blessed them with goodness, and they've used their talents and their abilities to have it. But the Lord tells us, to whom much has been given, much will be expected. And when someone is in need, when we share of the goods that we have, especially if we have more than are necessary for our own basic comfort and own basic living, we are doing what really God expects of us, which is to share and to reach out to others. And I think that's an important thing for us to realize as believers in Jesus Christ, that to whom much has been given, much is being expected. And that, again, as I was saying before, a charitable act is not something which is extra. So I've done my charity. Charitable act is something which is out of love, and that comes from who we are by our very nature as believers in Jesus Christ.
Charity, one of the theological virtues, faith, hope, and charity.
Exactly.
We're approaching the season of Lent. What would you suggest to cultivate, for Catholics to cultivate a greater love for the poor and grow in a deeper relationship with God this year?
Okay. The first I would say, which is prayer, is becoming more and more in union with God and opening our minds and our hearts through prayer to the needs of others, to those closest to us in our families, in our communities, in our own churches. And in a particular way, especially during the season of Lent, to open our hearts to the needs of those around the world who really are suffering in so many different ways, through poverty, through disasters which occur, through a lack of the goods that we have. And so I think that opening our hearts in prayer before the Lord and calling to mind the needs of other people and making them part of who we are, and then praying is how we can respond to that, whatever we may have. If we have a great deal, naturally that's going to be more. If we have little, whatever we can to share in that. It's also good, as I said before, the Lord's words, to whom much has been given, much will be expected. We always have to remember in the gospel that Jesus didn't praise the rich for giving a lot of money. He praised the woman who gave the least, 2 cents. When she passed by and she threw 2 cents to help the poor, she made the greatest contribution. And that, in the eyes of the Lord, is what makes the difference.
I know you're very familiar with our Box of Joy ministry, which brings gifts to children in the developing world, many of whom have never had any kind of a Christmas present. How does this ministry align with the Church's teaching on helping others? Oh,
sure. That's a wonderful ministry. And we in the Diocese of Palm Beach were very happy to be involved in that right from the beginning. We were one of the first dioceses to do it and to cooperate with it. And while it's called the Boxes of Joy, and those things in those boxes, whatever they may be, bring joy to others, especially at Christmas and to young people, it brings joy to the people that put them together. And I've experienced that here at our pastoral center, where the people who work here put together boxes of joy. And then we have a day when I put all the boxes together in the downstairs room, and we have a blessing for them, and then they bring them out to the transportation that's going to take them. And they have a joy in being known. They're part of something that's very important. And again, it may be simple, it may be small, but it brings joy. And that makes a real difference. That makes a real difference. And we do it at our cathedral here. And again, that same spirit is present, which is a joyful one. We know it's bringing joy to others, but it brings joy to us.
Finally, Bishop, more than 2/3 of the bishops in the United States, well over like 112 or so, have given cross-Catholic outreach written endorsement letters. How important is this support from the U.S. Church?
Oh, that's very important. And especially not only from the U.S. Church, but from the U.S. bishops, because it shows the support that the bishops has for the outreach of cross-Catholic. It's not only the support of cross-Catholic, but it's also the support of those who reach out to others. I think it's very important to realize that there are many, many organizations, good organizations that participate in outreach to the poor. And the more we have, the better. Sometimes we can get into a parochial mentality that we have one here and we have one there, and that don't give to another one because that's going to interfere with the work they're doing. No. The more we outreach through different ways, the better we are. And that's why Cross-Catholic Outreach is such a great mission, because it's one among others, but one that does it in a particular way, and people associate with it. And so that's a great blessing. And that's what the bishops are saying. They do a great job, and the more we have, the better. And so we're very grateful to Cross-Catholic Outreach for that.
Well, Bishop Barbarito, thank you for your longtime support of Cross-Catholic Outreach, and thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome. And thank you for coming to us, and it's a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for the good work you do.